In this video, I'm going to show you a simple chipping technique you can use to hit consistent chip shots around the greens. So if you're worried about contact, if you want to make consistent contact in pressure situations, you can use this chipping technique to get the golf ball up into the air and onto the green from the fringe or from the rough around the green every time. So let's talk a little bit about the certain technique and what it entails. So normally when we have the club on the ground, there's going to be a little bit of space where the toe is off the ground. So the toe part of the club is not touching my hand here. Now as we start to move the shaft more vertical, that starts to push that toe more into the ground and it starts to lift the heel off the ground a little bit. So now there's a little bit of space between the heel and my hand. So here's where it would normally rest, but as we rotate that shaft more vertical, it puts that toe more into the ground. So that's what we want to do here when we're setting up for a chip shot. If I'm taking my traditional chip shot stance, and then we're just going to kind of lift our wrists up more to get that club shaft going more vertical, and that's going to put that toe down in the ground more. And so what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to be able to make better contact on those chip shots. And now the third part of it is going to be our wrist and our hand action. So as we're taking a hold of the club here, we're just going to take our normal grip like we would on our wedge. We're going to again kind of lift our wrists to get that shaft coming more straight rather than leaning at an angle. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to kind of swing back and swing through, trying to maintain this angle we've got going on here. So you think of the shaft as like the bottom leg of a Y, the letter Y. So we've got the bottom and then we've got our two arms here forming the arches of the Y. So if you look at the club shaft and my arms, it kind of forms the letter Y, and we want to keep that letter throughout the chipping motion here. We're not getting bendy with our hands and our wrists. We're keeping our wrists pretty much straight. There might be some slight bend in our back wrist here as we take the club back a little bit, but there's really not much at all. You can't really notice it. So you keep your arms and the club all within that same plane of forming that Y, and then we just go back and forth and make a little chipping motion. And that's going to help pop that ball up. So let me go ahead and hit a shot for you now and show you how this works. All right, so I'm going to take my setup. I'm going to grab a hold of the club. We're going to get that shaft more vertical, put that toe down more in the ground, and then I'm just going to swing back like a putting stroke, keeping that Y formation between the shaft and my arms. So we're going to set up here and aim at the hole. And you're going to notice it just pops the ball right up into the air, gets it on the green, checks up, and then has a little bit of rollout. So it's a great chipping technique to practice when you are in pressure situations and you need to make good contact and get that ball to pop up into the air onto the green. Try this chipping technique out and you're going to find that you're going to perform much better around the greens and have more confidence as well.